A family scapegoat is usually a particular child or sibling who is singled out. And the purpose of the scapegoat is to have someone to blame for the dysfunction of the family. They are to serve the narcissistic parent's self-interest and for the survival of the toxic dynamic which upholds the parent's false image. It can be anyone who is perceived as vulnerable, different, or challenging to the narcissist's sense of control and superiority. The child who exhibits independence, question authority, or refuse to conform to the family's norms or the narcissist's expectations, and those who speak up against injustice or challenge the narcissist's control can become problematic to the narcissist's agendas and false narratives, are often punished through scapegoating. In most cases, the truth teller is targeted because the narcissistic family members fear exposure. So, they will make any attempts to make the truth teller appear crazy or as a liar. But scapegoats that are perceived as emotionally or physically weaker can be picked out as easier targets for narcissistic abuse and manipulation. Children who are more sensitive, empathetic, and emotionally intelligent may be targeted because their traits starkly contrast with the narcissist's lack of empathy. Because they are caring and sensitive to other people's emotions. This makes them become an easy target to project all the feelings of shame and blame that the narcissists do not want to feel or take accountability for. In turn, these individuals often take on the blame and shame, always feeling like they are never good enough and constantly going out of their way trying to please the narcissists. A child or sibling who outshines the narcissist in any way, such as academically or socially, are often also scapegoated due to the narcissist's jealousy and need to feel superior. The confident or gifted individual who knows who they are and can see through the lies could also be targets. They unknowingly and naturally project back the narcissist's behaviors, which threatens the narcissists, then becoming the victim of scapegoating simply for being who they are. The scapegoat's reality is persistently ignored, dismissed, minimized, or diminished. And they can easily be rejected from the family dynamic simply for being a threat. That is how they can become the black sheep of the family. Scapegoats become the emotional punching bag for the narcissists. They're the ones who get all the blame and shame projected onto them, just so the narcissistic family members do not have to take accountability for their own behaviors or consequences. Everything that goes wrong within the family will always ultimately be the scapegoat's fault. They can be blamed for many problems and negative outcomes. Although this act can be very painful and confusing for the scapegoat, it is a form of defense and self-protection for the narcissists. Narcissists often need scapegoats to protect their fragile self-image and maintain a sense of superiority and control. They have an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep-seated need to be perceived as perfect and superior. Admitting faults or failures threatens their self-image. By blaming others for problems, they deflect attention away from their own shortcomings, preserving their image of perfection. Accepting responsibility for mistakes or negative outcomes is something narcissists find intolerable. Scapegoating allows them to shift blame onto others, avoiding accountability and the uncomfortable emotions that come with it, such as guilt or shame. Scapegoating is also a way for narcissists to exert control over others. By targeting a scapegoat, they can manipulate and dominate the family dynamics, ensuring that they remain in a position of power and authority. This manipulation can create a climate of fear and uncertainty, which further consolidates their control. Narcissists often engage in harmful or unethical behavior. By focusing attention on a scapegoat, they divert scrutiny away from their actions. This tactic helps them avoid consequences and keeps others from questioning their behavior. Scapegoating can create division within the family, isolating the scapegoat and preventing cohesive resistance against the narcissist's control. This fragmentation ensures that the narcissist can manipulate individuals more easily, as a divided group is less likely to challenge their authority. The narcissistic parent or parents may triangulate their children so the children will turn against each other, and often in ways where the scapegoat will always look like the bad guy. Narcissistic parents have deep-seated insecurities and often project these onto others. By attributing their own perceived flaws and weaknesses to the scapegoat, they can distance themselves from these undesirable traits. This projection helps them manage their own feelings of inadequacy. By scapegoating a child or sibling, it can generate a form of narcissistic supply, which is the attention and admiration narcissists crave. And positioning themselves as the wronged or superior party, they can elicit sympathy, support, and validation from others, bolstering their fragile ego. Through scapegoating, narcissists can manipulate the perceptions of others, creating a narrative that supports their version of reality. This manipulation can make it difficult for others to see the truth and can trap the scapegoat in an unjust role, reinforcing the narcissist's delusion of power and control. Any children at any time can switch into being in the scapegoat role, depending on who dares questions or challenge anything the narcissistic parent does. Even the child who is treated as the golden child can be placed into the scapegoat role if the narcissistic parent somehow feels let down by them, especially if the child does or says something to undermine their authority, false image, or reputation that the parent is trying to uphold. Narcissists often have no intentions of changing and will likely allocate another family member as the next scapegoat if and when the first scapegoat leaves the toxic family dynamic. Being a scapegoat in a family can be a challenging and painful experience, but it is important to remember that you have the power to protect yourself and improve your situation. By recognizing the dynamics at play, setting firm boundaries, seeking support, and prioritizing your well-being, you can begin to heal and build a healthier, more fulfilling life full of honesty, authenticity, and genuine, unconditional love away from your toxic family. If you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you in any way, please consider supporting us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And please share this content if you think it can help others. Thank you. We believe that knowledge truly is power when it comes to dealing with toxic people.